Hi, welcome back to my kitchen. Today, Betty Weens and I are going to show you a little bit about Rollkuchen. You're probably wondering, what in the world is Rollkuchen? If you're a Mennonite, we're on the same page. And Betty and I both are. If you're not, let's just give a little explanation. So here we have this dough. Betty, you want to tell us a little bit about this dough?
Yeah.
What's in it?
So this is, I'm proud to say, this is my mom's recipe, and it's what I grew up with. And so it is, there's some whipping cream, some milk, eggs, flour, and baking powder. So a really simple recipe. And so we just prepping that a little bit beforehand. It makes the consistency better. And you just roll it out.
What we're going to do with this dough is we're going to roll it and cut it in strips. And we're going to flip it around, and this is what's going to make it pillowy and soft. Now, some of you are thinking, we don't do that. We like it crispy and crunchy. That's fine. But Betty and I both like it pillowy and soft. So we are going to flip our Rollkuchen.
And leaving them to about that's about 1/4 inch thick, I think. And I don't know about you, Rachel, but at my house there was no measuring, no making them all even.
No.
I grew up in a large household, so it was about efficiency.
Exactly.
And so there was just line them up.
Yeah, exactly
Let her go. So putting a little slit in the middle, that helps the middle to fry up really nice. And then we were just teasing and said, depending on which side of the room you're from, we would do like a little, people called this the fancy way. But yeah, you and I both.
That's both how we grew up, that's how both my grandmas made it. That's how my mom made it.
Yeah.
And one thing I remember about Rollkuchen is we would have this every year at our church's family picnic. So one Sunday in the early summer, we would all stay after church and we would just have a picnic all day long. We'd play some baseball and have a potluck, and then it would run into supper time, or we called it FOSPA. And what we would do is all the women would start making Rollkuchen, and we'd have these big, huge watermelon. And you don't eat watermelon without Rollkuchen if you're a Mennonite. And so we would just start frying that, and people would hang around and eat Rollkuchen and watermelon to their heart's content. And I remember just like filling my hands as full as I could, hoping my mom wasn't watching, and my cousin and I would go sneak behind the church and just have a real feed. So that's one of my favorite memories of a Rollkuchen.
For myself, it was a weekly, sometimes bi-weekly treat at my house, and it was just, we didn't have any now we have farmer sausage with it, but we didn't growing up. It was just straight Rollkuchen and watermelon. And then I also remember after we had been berry picking in Abbotsford, and we'd come home, and while the kids were showering, my mom would whip up a batch, and then we would take it to the lake. So that was a lot of fun. We would meet cousins at the lake, and I'm sure there was a roaster or two full of Rollkuchen with a couple of watermelon, and off we went for the evening and just played in the water. And so just great memories. It was always about family. It was always about community. And
when it was too hot to turn the oven on, this is one thing my mom would resort to.
Which is interesting because you're standing over a hot frying
It's
pan.
true, but nobody else is, and it doesn't heat the house up the same way. And no one really feels like eating when your house is 40 degrees anyway. So we would eat this, and everyone would be satisfied, quench your thirst with the watermelon, and fill your tummy with the Rollkuchen, and off to bed we went. So
exactly.
We'd love to invite you to come experience watermelon and Rollkuchen with us at the farm. So towards the end of August, keep your ears open for dates. We are going to be having a watermelon and Rollkuchen festival, and it's going to be an all-you-can-eat, just like the church picnics back in the day. And come and enjoy, whether you've had it before or not. It's a lot of fun and a lot of time for sharing memories and just having some good time together. We're going to start frying some Rollkuchen here. We're going to drop it in hot oil, and it's going to bounce to the top. We'll flip it when it's golden on one side and let it cook the other side. When I was growing up, My dad especially, but us kids too, we loved to eat Roger's golden syrup with our Rollkuchen.
For us, the biggest treat was the next morning to have it with jam.
If you were lucky enough to have leftovers,
Yes.
you
that
dip
is
it in your
true.
jam?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember my dad eating rhubarb jam with the
Okay.
Rollkuchen. And we would all rather just have another piece of watermelon, but my dad often dipped it up with rhubarb jam.
Yeah.
See how puffy those get?
Yeah. Beautiful. Funny how you just learn all the things. So yeah, just learning this all from my mom, and I was always in the kitchen helping, and did not actually appreciate kind of the work that's involved till I was married and had kids of my own, and certainly did this regularly. One of my kids' favorites now, and those boys sure could pack them back.
Oh, I can only imagine. Yeah. Yeah, and Betty was just saying she's using 2 forks because that's what her mom did. And I was using tongs because that's what my mom did. And like even with the recipe, we wouldn't write down half a cup of this or 2 tablespoons of that.
Exactly.
It's about the feel of the dough. It's about you just know what your mom did and then you just do it.
A handful of this and a
That's right.
fistful of that.
That's right. So if you ask your grandma for a recipe, she'll say, recipe? You just do what your mom did. And that's kind of the Mennonite way.
Definitely.
Also a good reminder to let your kids help in the kitchen, because you can learn other ways, but one of the best ways to learn is just working alongside and copying.
Exactly. Looking forward to teaching my daughter-in-law.
That's right, yeah.
And it really doesn't require a lot of oil.
Nope, there's only about an inch, maybe just a bit less than an inch of oil in the pan here.
Yeah. No fancy equipment required. No.
So we just lay them on a piece of paper towel, and when we pull them out, it just picks up the drips of oil, pulls a little bit out of it. But if your oil's hot enough, it really doesn't soak up that much oil. It's just a matter of crisping the outside. These are just a few of our favorite memories around watermelon and Rollkuchen. We hope you have a chance to make a few of your own.
See you there.